welcome to another show. Today, we're going to look at Superman versus the Fantastic Four. It'll be 3 parts. The first part will be a hypothetical matchup as Superman fights the Fantastic Four. The second part, we're going to look at the 2 movies coming up. Who do you think will win the box office? We'll examine the box office media hype, as well as other factors to determine who could win the box office wars between Superman and the Fantastic Four first steps. And then I'll give you my own opinion on the subject. Also, we'll take a look at the time that they actually did meet up in 1999. What happens when 2 iconic forces from separate universes collide? Legendary Superman, protector of Metropolis, and beacon of hope in the DC universe, versus the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family of superheroes. This hypothetical yet exhilarating clash of titans would blend the ideals, powers, and teamwork of these heroes into an epic confrontation where strength meets strategy. Superman, born Kal-El on the planet Krypton, is arguably the most recognizable superhero in existence. Powers fueled by Earth's yellow sun, his abilities include superhuman strength, speed, light, heat vision, X-ray vision, and near invulnerability. He is more than a physical powerhouse. His moral compass and dedication to justice make him a symbol of hope. Superman's abilities are nearly limitless, and his Kryptonian physiology elevates him to levels unmatched by most heroes. Whether lifting skyscrapers or saving planets from annihilation, he is a one-man army. However, he is not without his vulnerabilities, such as kryptonite, and his commitment to preserving life, even that of his opponents. Fantastic Four are a tightly knit team whose powers stem from a cosmic radiation accident during an outer space mission. Each member brings unique capabilities. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, a genius-level intellect with his ability to stretch and reshape his body. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, the power to turn invisible and create force fields of incredible strength. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, command over fire allowing him to light, ignite at will, and fly. And Grim the Thing, a rock-like form, grants him superhuman strength and durability. Together they personify teamwork, innovation, and adaptability. Their ability to think strategically and complement each other's strengths has allowed them to overcome adversaries far more powerful than themselves, including Galactus and Dr. Doom. For such a clash, context is crucial. Perhaps the 2 parties misunderstood each other's intentions, or a villain manipulates them into conflict. Regardless of the reason, the battle would likely unfold in stages, testing both Superman's overwhelming might and the Fantastic Four's coordinated ingenuity. Superman's raw power would dominate the initial encounter. His speed and strength could outmatch even Ben Grimm. His heat vision would challenge Sue's force fields, and his ability to fly would give him the upper hand against Johnny. Reed's elastic form might evade some attacks, but Superman's precision would be difficult to counter. Fantastic Four, however, are not strangers to battling stronger foes. They would quickly realize that brute force alone cannot subdue Superman. Round 2. Reed Richards, being a brilliant tactician, would analyze Superman's abilities and weaknesses. The team might exploit his vulnerability to kryptonite by synthesizing or acquiring a shard. Sue's force fields could trap him temporarily, while Johnny serves as a distracting force in the skies. Ben would engage Superman directly, using his unyielding strength to buy time. Superman's reliance on solar energy could also become a target. Reed could devise a plan to block or drain his solar absorption, temporarily weakening him. Round 3. As the battle rages on, Superman's steadfast morality and the Fantastic Four's problem-solving prowess would likely lead to a resolution. Both sides would recognize the misunderstanding or manipulation that brought them to blows. By combining their strength, they could turn their attention to the true enemy, whether it be Lex Luthor, Dr. Doom, or an interdimensional threat. Confrontation between Superman and the Fantastic Four would merely be about physical prowess. It would also highlight the ideals these heroes represent. Superman embodies hope, perseverance, the belief in doing what is right, even when the odds are insurmountable. The Fantastic Four exemplify the power of unity, intelligence, and innovation. In the end, such a crossover would serve as a celebration of superhero storytelling, showcasing the best of both the DC and Marvel universes. It would leave audiences awestruck, not only by the action, by the shared values of these iconic heroes. Superman versus the Fantastic Four is more than a battle. It's a narrative of strength versus strategy, individuality versus teamwork, and two universes discovering common ground. While the outcome might remain forever a matter of speculation, one thing is certain: it would be an unforgettable clash of ideals, powers, and heroism. Now let's look at the upcoming movie's box office. Both movies are going to be released in July, with Superman coming out first on the 29th. The Fantastic Four will be released on the 25th. At the start of June 2025, The Wrap reported that Superman needed to gross more than $500 million worldwide to become profitable at the box office, but that it would need to earn around $700 million to be considered a success. The Hollywood Reporter estimated that the film could have a domestic debut of around $175 million and a potential global total of over $1 billion based on the first full trailer's engagements metrics, while noting its production and marketing costs accounting for a total of around $400 million. As of this broadcast, we're over several weeks away from the release of Fantastic Four: First Steps. So while box office tracking is still a ways off, BoxOfficeTheory.com has shared their early forecast for the MCU reboot's opening weekend based on factors such as ticket pre-sales, trailer views, reactions, Marvel's previous late summer openers, and the competition the movie will face when it hits theaters. The site is predicting a domestic debut of between $125 million and $136 million. This would be a great start for the movie, and a much stronger opening than Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, which took in $76 million its first weekend, and Captain America: Brave New World, which took in $100 million, while not troubling the mighty Deadpool and Wolverine, which was taking in over $200 million. However, the Fantastic Four are much better known characters than the characters in Thunderbolts, and will benefit from name recognition. With all due respect to Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers is Captain America. I know Wilson became Captain America for a time in comic books. This run wasn't popular. The only reason Marvel stayed with Wilson as Cap, as long as they did, was that when Steve Rogers was finally brought back, sales would predictably soar. And they did. Anthony Mackie would have done better with the Falcon standalone movie, or if Steve Rogers had been brought back during the course of this movie. But that didn't happen. Deadpool was the highly anticipated third film in the series and saw the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. The film paid service to the fans of the MCU and the comics, while the other two did not. Superman is also getting the media hype, which the Fantastic Four isn't. Plus, the filmmakers of Fantastic Four are making the same mistakes that previous Marvel entries have made, leading to YouTube creators such as Nerdrotic to dub the MCU as the MCU. Sue Storm being in charge, and a female Silver Surfer, as with Sam Wilson's run as Captain America. The brief time Shala Bal was the Silver Surfer in the comics wasn't that popular of a run. When will the filmmakers at the Marvel Cinematic Universe learn their lesson? My prediction: for Superman, it'll be a huge success with less than 50% drop-off in its second week, pleasing fans of the character. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, will see a more than 60% drop-off in its second week, as Fantastic Four fans will be disappointed with the fact that this is more of a Sue Storm movie than an ensemble piece, with the other three characters in supporting roles. Johnny Storm will not be the womanizing Don Juan he was previously, in an effort to update the character.
We're heading to intercept the surfer in 10 minutes, with or without you.
Were you just waiting outside the bathroom to try and catch me in a towel?
Ben Grimm is supposedly underused. And what happened to John Krasinski? Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards? Now, I'm not dissing Pedro Pascal, he's a fine actor. But Krasinski looked more the part, looked more like the comic book character than Pascal does. I'm just wondering, did John Krasinski turn down the role based on the script? That could be a factor as well. Let's talk about when the team-up actually happened in the comic books. In 1999, a mysterious object lands in the middle of Metropolis, and the MSCU is sent to examine it. Superman soon arrives on the scene and finds out that the device is a nuclear bomb and that it is counting down. Superman promptly disables the bomb's countdown timer, but he then detects that someone is trying to detonate it with a backup device. Before Superman could go after the bombers, an alien crystal appears before him, and it projects an image of Superman's father, Jor-El. Jor-El tells Superman that he is the essence of the real Jor-El, contained in the crystal, to warn Superman that the real cause of Krypton's destruction was at the hands of the cosmic being Galactus. This revelation shocks Superman, and fearing the possibility that the World Devourer will come for his Earth, he goes to finding experts for help, the Fantastic Four. As Superman greets the Four and Reed and Susan's son Franklin, he explains to them about Galactus and shows Reed the communication crystal. But suddenly, a burst of energy erupts from the crystal and merges into Pier 4's equipment, which is possessed by a sentient being and starts to attack the Four and Superman. As the heroes are holding off, an unknown satellite suddenly appears and battles Superman in a wave of energy. Reed is able to examine the crystal to learn that the materials are made of Galactus. The perpetrator of the attack on the pier reveals himself to be Hank Henshaw, aka the cyborg Superman. Henshaw reveals that Galactus engineered the crystal as a trap to make Superman his new herald. Indeed, Superman is imbued in Galactus' power cosmic. Superman, along with Reed, is then teleported away to meet Galactus before the Four can stop him. Susan, Ben, and Johnny very reluctantly join forces with Henshaw to find Superman and Reed. While the cyborg personally wants to become Galactus' herald, Henshaw uses his expertise to the Four spaceships and installs it with the warp drive. While prepping the ship, Henshaw cannot help to compare how much he shares in common with the Fantastic Four, as he and his crew of the ill-fated space shuttle Excalibur were bombarded by radiation, much like how the Four were affected by cosmic radiation, but the similarities end there. Whereas the Four gained incredible powers and used them for good, Henshaw was the sole survivor of the Excalibur crew who died from the radiation and chose to harm humanity before they depart Earth. Franklin gives his mother his Superman action figure for luck. Meanwhile, Superman begins serving Galactus by finding a subtle yet desolate planet for consumption. Despite Reed's efforts to break Superman free from his conditioning, just as Galactus is preparing to process the planet, Susan, John, Ben, and Henshaw arrive. The Four tries to battle Superman and Galactus. Henshaw tries to find a way of getting access to Galactus' power against the might of Galactus and Superman, forcing the Four and Henshaw to retreat. The planet is processed, but the sight of its destruction disturbs Superman. Galactus goes to another planet, this time teeming with life. Superman tries to protest against Galactus from consuming the planet, but the Devourer of Worlds states that it must be done. This finally breaks Superman free from his conditioning, and he turns against Galactus. Superman is joined by the Four, and Reed is freed from his prison during the battle. Henshaw breaks his alliance with the heroes, but he is subdued by Ben. Galactus still remains powerful, and Superman is relinquished of his power cosmic. Fortunately, Reed has another way to defeat Galactus. He and Superman reprogram Galactus' equipment to draw his energy and channel it into the planet. This allows Superman and the Four to begin with the World Devourer on the condition that he only feed on lifeless planets in exchange for restoring his technology. Galactus concedes and also reveals that he was not responsible for Krypton's destruction. It turns out that Henshaw had encountered Galactus' crystal and altered the crystal's message in order to hitch a ride to reach Galactus. So Galactus proceeds to give Henshaw perfection by turning him into a piece of condensed alloy without thought or consciousness. The heroes return to Earth, and Superman thanks the Four and gives away his cape to Franklin. And that was our show for today. What did you think? Are you a fan of DC, Marvel, or both? Are you looking forward to the Superman film coming out this summer, or about the Fantastic Four film coming out this summer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And I'd be honored if you subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to stay informed, share this video as that will help me grow on YouTube as well. Until next time, this is Kevin Given saying, live long and prosper, may the Force be with you, and keep reaching for the stars.